The Locker.
Welcome in to The Locker, Season 6, Episode 14. I'm your man, A. White, along with V. Styles. Finally got my stuff back working. That's why we on time, lightweight. We might have been off by 15, 20 seconds. Because in real radio world, 15, 20 seconds is about how many dollars? It's a lot of dollars. But so point was, man, so anyways, what's going on, man?
Man, it is the best time of year for your boy. It's track season. This is like, for basketball fans, this is the NCAA tournament. For football fans, this is the bowl game and playoffs. We got East and West outdoor regionals that would advance you to the national championship. The middle of June. Can I go off on a tangent real quick?
Yeah, do what you got to do, man. This is our show. Hey, man, they do this on. We got 3 people on Sunday morning, and everybody want to everybody want to yell about what I got. I don't write sports. They do. You watch a lot of sports, man. You don't have this our show. Go ahead.
Hey, but I'm going to but this is a 10. Look, y'all.
You know what? In fact, go ahead.
Okay. Here's the deal, y'all. In track and field, in the mile relay, in the 800 and above, there are break lines. If you know what I mean by break lines. In the mile relay, the second leg, the first leg runs around the track in the lane. The second leg takes the baton and runs 100 meters. And after 100 meters, that athlete can break into lane 1. In the 1500, you can break into lane 1 immediately. In the 800, you can break into lane 1 after you completed a 100. I am watching these elite collegiate athletes doing the break-in wrong. And it causes people to trip. It causes fisticuffs. It causes elbow throwing. It causes spikes in the shin. It causes issues that should not happen. If you're in lane 8, if you break into lane 1 right now, you are running further than the distance you are allotted to run. What you should do is the shortest distance from one point to the other is a straight line. If you're in lane 8, you draw a line from that's tangent to where the 200 meters starts or to the next start of the curve to where you're at, and you run that straight line. If everyone did that, we would not have people getting spiked and tripped and all that good stuff. It bothers me to the utmost to see that. I see it on a pro level sometimes. Like, dude, y'all are running. I know it doesn't matter. You run the 10,000, you run 2 meters further, whatever. But in the mile relay, 2 meters is the difference between you winning and coming second. All right, that's my soapbox. I just saw that just now. I'm like, what the hell?
Since you brought that up, though, it takes me back to kind of thinking. Now, mind you, I was a track runner. The only reason I didn't run track my junior and senior year is because my freshman year, I was a freshman competing with the seniors, not competing with, but I was like second alternate on 4x1 that ran 42, low 42 flats. And if I got in there, we might have been 42.5, 42.5. But the point was that I was only a freshman. I ain't know how to run, and them dudes was. But my sophomore year, we went deep into the basketball playoffs, and I came out one year and ran in the meet. And I really didn't do a whole lot of meets because basketball went so far in. We had one track meet, and we had a conference meet. The conference meet, they was like, we need somebody for long jump. You want to do long jump? Nah, not really, because I don't like losing. So I say, nah. Dude, I can't even remember what my first jump was. It's 24, 26 good, like decent.
Dude, 26 is world class.
Oh, okay.
In college.
18 decent.
Okay. Yeah. That
Okay.
sounds better.
I'm thinking it's 16 or 18, whatever it was, my first jump ever, long jump. They marked it. I scratched the next two. It took second.
Ooh. Damn.
But I didn't let her. And in high school, I was all about lettering. I just wanted to have all the letters. So I didn't run my junior and senior year. Then at my senior basketball banquet, they gave me my letter for my sophomore year of track. Like we thought about it. And,
what was that gonna do for you right now?
I got points in the conference meeting, and you don't let her? Who does that?
Yeah. See, that's the other thing. See, now we're getting into that's the other thing, dude, that I love about track. Is that giving awards are very simple. It's not popularity contest. I'm gonna say this. I don't care what you say, every award has a tinge, at least a tinge of popularity contest. In the track, it's straight points. It's how many points you scored throughout the season. We got for how we do most valuable field, most valuable track, most valuable distance. Coaches ain't got shit to do with it.
Right.
We look at the tally of points and okay, that person won it. So and when you can letter two ways for us: finish top 10 in total points of the season, or score
top 10. Top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
You don't have like a letter threshold. You don't have a point threshold.
No, that's one way. That's one way to get there. Top 10 guarantees you a letter or score a point in district.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you and our coaches do a great job of trying to, like, especially distance runners. Why put them on like a 4x8 if we can just put 4 average people on there to get points and we'll tax them later. So at least you get a chance to letter. Because 4x8, we always win in district. So at least you're a distance runner, you can get a chance to letter. 4x1, 4x4, depending on where we are, we can put some people who are borderline lettering, put them on there to score a point in district, and we cool. So score a point in district, I finish top 10. I think that's fair.
And that probably is. I mean, we take a couple people to states every year, and we got a couple goals or first place in the states. I didn't even know this was going to start off being a track thing. I got two. Which one I'm gonna do first? I'm gonna do this one first because we got a homeboy. We got a friend, real dear friend.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna let you soak on this, but I'm gonna go to my original statement.
Whoa, pause. Soak.
That ain't no pause.
You can't. Hey, we got Pope as a basketball coach, and the Mormon soaking is that's a pause. See, you know what? That's a Mormon pause.
I'm Mormon pause. So we got a homeboy. The daughter is in the 6th grade. Number 1 in the state in javelin. Top 8, 10 shot put. Top 5, 7 in discus. 6th grade. Go to the state tournament. And we're gonna talk about that later. If you don't listen to Sunday Morning Sports Talk and you don't know, but we're gonna talk about that. What I want to say, the thing we was talking about track, and you were talking about. So what's the deal with that girl that on the relay? It was a relay, right? Where she knocked her off the track and then started crying and act like she ain't know what the hell she. Now, mind you, if she didn't know what she did, there's really no reason to cry and just apologize. But she crying and nobody apologized. The athletic directors gave some type of dry ass apology. You the track guy, this is your season. I'm gonna let you have at it for a little bit today before we get into our offensive line coach being blessed for.
I'm gonna say this. You know how
what side you stand on?
When you do something on purpose, but it's a reaction. You know how there's stuff that's premeditated and then there's reactionary.
You're supposed to be prepared for reaction. That's what sports are about.
That's what I'm saying.
There's reaction to every stimuli.
So for me, did she hit her on purpose? That's hard for me to say that she was like, oh, when she come around when she come around the turn and she passed me, I'm gonna yell, right? Now, this is what happens. Relays can get physical. Just like I've said with they run an 800 right now, and the guys.
That's what made me think about it. Yeah, that's what made me think about it. Yeah.
So what happens sometimes is someone gets up on your arm, and you like, get up off me, right?
Go ahead, finish.
No.
That might happen in the 800. That may happen in the 800 or the 400. That don't in 100. Come on, go ahead.
No,
go ahead. You flip your arm out. What were they running? Were they running 100?
It's my relay. It's my relay.
Oh, my.
It's either my relay or 4x2. It was indoor, I think. Was it indoor or outdoor?
It seemed like it was a sprint.
I think it was indoor. So it could have been 4x2. Okay. Indoor 4x2 is like a 4x4 where everybody breaks into lane one. Yeah. So when someone hits you, you tend to toss a little bit. Now get up off me. Especially indoors worse because the track is tighter. Everything will come fine. You even feel more like you're in a box. Now, so this is the fine part. Even the swing, that I'm gonna allow her to get away with. But in the head, the head part is like you intentionally hit her in the head. So I've been like saying right here, I've been in a situation where I got boxed in a mile relay where you got to fight yourself out. Where I'm the guy next to me, I'm about to go past you, man. Let me out of here. So but I'm never gonna go. It's here, but it's never raised up. It's never.
It gotta be in your normal running motion,
right?
I mean, you're gonna lose momentum for one,
right? So for me, I think the girl bumped her. And here's the thing. Now, I don't know the history between them, but as a guy who we ran in track meets locally, you run against the same people almost week in and week out. So you kind of get an idea of who has a chance to come get you and who don't, right? So she probably knew who this girl was. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. The girl might have been beating her, right? So I know she coming. Why are you brushing up against me? Yeah. So I'm not going to go with, the innocent, I didn't know. That to me is BS. But I will say, though, when someone if they brush you, you got all this track, right? You see where I'm at. I got the right to my space. Why are you coming up all in my space?
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's all.
That's a fact. I will say this, so I'm gonna go on to the next thing. Like I said, to me, my whole thing was why not just handle like champs? Like people nowadays, sports done changed where we understand, the Isaiah Jordan thing, the Shaq and the Charles Barkley thing. Like at a certain point in sports, man, you just get to it and be like, look, man, who was that? Barry Bonds. Huh?
The Shaq and Charles Barkley one was funny as hell.
Well, when he swung on him?
The one where Charles Barkley threw the ball at him, then they started swinging?
Yeah. But Barry Bonds was talking today about how the game has changed so much. He was like, Barry Bonds knew when he came up that especially if he hit a double, triple, especially a home run, that next at bat, he was gonna have to get out the way. Yeah. He was gonna have to get out the way. He said these guys buddy, man, playing friend too much. So like the games has changed so much where, we was talking about Ronnie Lott, Jack Tatum. We was talking about some people.
On, let me pause though. There is buddy.
Pausing again.
But Anthony, the ramifications and fines and penalties now is way higher now than it was back in the day. I'm just saying
percentage wise.
Well, yeah.
Are they making? You know how much more money they making than Ronnie Lightning was making?
But if you brush somebody off, right, and you get kicked out, you get fined, and I think you get suspended a game or two. Them game checks in baseball when you play every day.
We ain't saying that. We just saying you can throw at them.
I'm just saying. So in baseball, the first guy, the next guy can't throw at you, or they throw you out the game.
I'm gonna show you. Oh, that's MLB. I'm gonna show you a video. I'm gonna send you a video of. I'm gonna show you a video of when a guy in a high school, I think it was high school or AAU baseball game, got hit 5 times in 5 at bats.
Whoa! At 5 different at bats, or 5.
5 times in 5. You can't get it. Got to be 5 different at bats. The first time you get, you take the base.
No, the same thing in baseball. You play a series. At least all high, you play a couple.
No, same game. Yeah, same game. I don't know why.
I'm gonna post. Hope you switch hitter will get in the same spot every time.
Oh no, it's different pitchers. They say it's 5 different pitchers.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you right-handed and you get in that shoulder 5 times,
nah. One hit him up high, one hit him in the back, one hit him in the butt. I think one hit him in the stomach. I mean, this big old dude, though. Dude was built like Cecil Fielder.
Oh, okay.
But
so his gut could have been over the plate.
Oh my God.
It was outside the batter's box.
So here's the thing, though. All right, so this is back in your wheelhouse. Because apparently baseball ain't. It's back in your wheelhouse. So a friend of ours' daughter's a 6th grader. The number 1 javelin thrower in middle school with like an 88.8.
Okay.
And the next person has like an 87 something, like throughout the year. They go to the state meet. She comes in last place. Last place.
Well, but that's daughter what, like 9 people or something?
Huh?
I mean, you gotta qualify for middle school state, right? It's not 100 people throwing, it's only like what, 9 to 12 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still last place.
Damn.
You think that's possible?
For sure. Did she foul on the first 2 attempts? Like, there's so many variables. Did she foul on the first 2 attempts?
That's the point I wanted to get to. I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
That is the point I was looking to get to. Hold on, I'm doing multitasking. She scratched on all 3 attempts.
Oh, well, that's how you finish.
Wasn't line scratches. It wasn't over the line scratches.
Oh, sector scratches.
It was what?
Sector. She went outside the sector lines. So what's she scratched then?
Apparently, you got to bend your elbow to throw it. Like it's technical.
No. Javelin?
That's why we where I want to be. Now this is middle school. Maybe because their muscles ain't complete. Hold on. Hold your thoughts. Here's the thing, man. The thing is this. They didn't tell her the first time. They didn't tell her the second time. And so it got to the point where, hold on. She had to do what she had to do. So at that point, they just said, look, your throws ain't counting because of this. And then they helped her out. But why not tell her that after the first one? Ain't it track meets? Like, why? Hold on, Van, these are the 2 things you're missing. 1, it was the number 1 person in the state. Not saying that they should be getting any favoritism, but if you're doing the job at the combine, that's what I was saying. At the combine, if you give a roll and start at the combine, they'll stop you and be like, hey, look, you can't roll. You got to do this. They give you your adjustments. All 3 scratches were for the same reason, And they said because she was throwing it over, and they said she needed to throw it like a baseball.
What?
Do what you want to do with that information. Now it's your turn. Since you kept on jumping in. And you a track guy, so I'm just curious. And the two things about it is, one is the number one player in the state. The second thing is that you corrected it on the last throw, or you told him on the last throw. And at this point, like, I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Let me start more. So, Anthony, did she throw it here?
Coaches ain't allowed. I don't know nothing about it. They said the point that was made, she had to break her elbow. Before she throws, she has to break her elbow like baseball, like throwing a baseball.
Oh, so she just threw it like this.
Apparently, yeah. So do you know that to be something you can't do?
I have never heard of, first of all.
At that level, maybe because they're younger and their muscles ain't developed. So
no, that's still, first of all, at that level, if she's throwing it that far without breaking her elbow.
That's what I said. Ain't that tougher?
That's freaking crazy. So you telling me she just windmilled it?
Right, basically. Yeah, no breaking the elbow.
Bruh. I can't see, now I have to see it. I have never heard of that being a rule that you have to break your elbow to throw the javelin. Never heard that, because I have actually seen people throw like that.
Right.
But it's like, go ahead, throw like that. You ain't gonna throw it very far. It's like, go ahead, brother. Go at it.
Right.
I'm gonna sling this thing 1+, and you're gonna sling it like 40. So, but I've never seen anybody get scratched because of it.
All three. And that's the bigger thing for me, that was all three. Like you did. And who's that asking? Cobby Cobb. The coaches aren't allowed to be at that level. I don't know if it's just Kentucky thing. They're not allowed to be inside the fence. So they're inside the football field and the coaches are on the outside of the fence.
Anthony, no, you do not have to break your elbow to throw the javelin.
In middle school.
No, you don't have to break your elbow to throw the javelin. That is a rule. You can't have a damn middle school. Anthony, can you imagine having a middle school rule?
Yeah, no, we have them at our school. Like because I work at alternative school, if you are, they muscles and bones and ligaments ain't all developed. So if you pull their arms back, it's liable to mess up that little space in between there. So they might be thinking, huh?
So you telling me that you throw the shot put, that there's a different rule for throwing a shot put in a discus? Because
the shot put is all from here. It ain't no way for you to throw a shot put like this. I mean, a discus.
No, but what I'm saying is, dude, all right, I'm gonna say this.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm on your side. We just got to convince the right people.
I think that's, but here's the thing. You just said that's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard. But this is what happens, and this is why I fucking started to hate sports a little bit in middle school. Is because she's in 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
So she's competing against 8th graders, right? Or
yes.
All right.
Yes.
So this is now you got me on one. So like, this is the difference. I mean, the school I go to is in a Catholic league, right? So our school goes K through 12.
Okay.
So honestly, in middle school, athletics is great, but it's not like the end all be all, right?
Right.
You got high
development and learn.
Right. Now, when you have these middle schools that stop at 8th grade, that's like their graduation. Like, this is my last time competing for the school, and everybody treats it the intensity level a little bit different, right?
Right.
Because this is the end for them. So for me, I'm just throwing shade on officials. I don't know. I apologize if this is not the truth. So it's like, why let this 6th grader beat these 8th grade girls? This is their last time in middle school. She got 2 more years. Oh, scratch. So for what I say, don't let her throw it in. Say we can't last six. Hey, for this meet is only 7th and 8th graders. Because Anthony, that's BS, right? That's BS to say she can't throw. But you know what's worse than that? To fucking throw a fucking stupid ass rule at the meet. Now she's demoralized.
No, that's a thought. That is a thought I hadn't thought about. Now that is a thought. That's a thought.
Now she's demoralized. At least you can say whoever, I don't know who it is, but
demoralized is understatement. Demoralized is understatement.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, dog, that's some bullshit. I know they set a rule, but they set the rule just for you, right? So now you just take that on the chin. But next year we'll get it. But here's the thing, and now I'm gonna get into another thing I heard. Anthony, have you ever gone to a meet? And I know we all embellish shit where you have, let's say you're doing the 100, right? Back in the day, right? And you run a 10-9. And dude come in, I'm just throwing it, and dude come in and say, dude, I ran 10-5. You look at him like, no fucking way you ran a 10-5. Right? So he said, well, last track meet, go look online. It said 10-5. You go look online, it does say 10-5. But let's say it's hand time, right? Or the FAT screws up just like FAT screwed up in one of y'all regions in Kentucky last week.
Right.
So, right? So you run a 10-5, you run a 10-9. Then y'all get on that line and you smoke his ass. Right? So for me, it's hard in track because no one certifies meets because we don't have enough officials. You need to have these meets. These meets need to be certified because some people are coming up with numbers, Anthony. I saw a number a few years ago in one of the jumps. I'm like, no way. I know who we talking about, and I know damn well this person hasn't improved that much.
Right.
So, like in a long jump, you're supposed to measure. The board extends infinitely, side to side. So let's say someone jumps on the edge of it. You don't measure the hypotenuse. You're supposed to measure a straight line. Right. So what if that person gets another 8 inches? But it's not certified because there's not anybody. The meets are just ran by other coaches, parents. JV is measured. Like that shit bothers me. But I don't know how you can rectify it because there's not enough of us younger people who are trying to be officials.
Who's younger people? What's us younger people? Who are you talking about?
People, us and younger.
I said, smoking over here drinking. But I that is what the excuse that was given when we brought it up the other day. That was the excuse that was given that each district runs their meets different and nobody runs it. So when you come to the state, and so you do have a point about that. Now here's what you do, and here's the problem I got with that. She performed in every track meet, and nobody ever corrected her.
Because that's a bullshit.
So it goes to what you said. It goes to what you said. But I'm also on that, and they used to do that to me all the time. Now, mind you, I wasn't super fast. I was fast enough. I wasn't super fast. I was quick. So in football, pew, 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 by the time you notice me, I got a distance that you ain't gonna make up.
Right.
But when you talking about just straight ahead, just grinding, that wasn't me. But we used to go to track. Shit, man, how you do? I ran this, like you said, I ran a so-and-so. All that's fine and dandy with all this conversation. When we get in these blocks, the wind, the weather, the hand time, the AccuTrack, don't none of that shit matter. Once we get off of these blocks, that's one reason I had to start running track. Like you said, you couldn't lie, you couldn't fudge nothing. Yeah, I ran a 10-5 last week at Invitational. Did you? Oh, that's nice. All right, let's get it. Hey, let's get it.
Go run that week. You're right.
But yeah, man. I think you might have a point, man. I think you may
that's
have
BS, dude. Anthony, see, this is why it also pissed me off because we just had this in one of the indoor meets, side story. But there's a rule book. And sometimes as parents and as coaches, you got to be assholes and say, show this to me in the fucking rule book. And if you ain't got a rule book, You ain't a true official, so I don't want to hear this shit. Because what you're saying is counter to, like you said, what I've done all year. Don't let her parents have thrown a javelin, but if my coach has thrown a javelin, that is nonsense, and you can't pull this shit out right now. You cannot change the rule today. And
you know the jacked up thing about it?
What's that?
And then, like I said, you bring clarity to me. The jacked up thing about it is, if your consensus is that 88.8, if my technique don't qualify me for the state, then that 88.8 don't qualify. So somebody else should be here.
Dude, who was officiating? Was the parents? Was the
no? They got state officials. No, they have state officials. They got probably the high school people. They probably got high school people official. Now at the districts and the regular track meets, they have regular students or whatever.
Okay.
But when you go to states, they have state officials.
I've never heard that.
Well, there we go. Now we have it. I was with you. I was like, if I was a parent, and like I said, if I see my mama, I ain't got no kids. I see my kids cry. There's gonna be some answers. I ain't just gonna walk away. But some people are bigger than other people, man. Like, all right, it's a lesson learned. Sometimes they gotta learn the lesson. Damn, all this. I always gotta be learning the lesson.
Now I do know, like, and I think I remember, like, for the higher level, the javelin, the guy to land, I think from the what they call that, from the cord closest to the tip down. It can't land backwards. If it lands, it's gotta land flat, but it can't land flat. It's gotta land flat, leaning more forward.
No, it was technical. It was thrown up before it even landed. The false was thrown up.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that is worse. What was the foul? Did they say what the foul? Like, when
scratch? It wasn't a foul. It was a scratch.
Well, whatever they call it, scratch foul. Yeah. Well, what they call it? Did they put a name to it?
They said the elbow, your elbow got to be bent on. Your elbow has to be bent on your follow through. Or I don't know about your follow through, but they said you didn't bend your elbow.
On the first throw, they told her that.
They said that's my point. It was on the last throw. Have you done it twice? It was on the last throw.
So what did they say on the first one? They just said scratch?
Yeah.
And for me,
everybody's wondering why they're not measuring. Everybody's wondering why they're not measuring the throw.
And was the coach out there?
No, the coaches, football, they on the outside.
Right, okay.
Yeah. They can't be in there. But like I said, now mind you, it's a 6th grader, not a vet.
Right.
It ain't high school. So I go to the fence and like, coach, what's going on? Now coach might jump over the fence and we might have a situation. And that may be what you want. But I'm saying it's only a 6th grader. They just happy to be there. 7th and 8th graders know all this. But I'm saying, like, that's why I brought up the combine. When you roll start out of a 40 at the combine, they'll tell you, hey, you can't roll start. You got to do this. Whoop-de-whoop. Man, it's too much money to be made. Like, it's too much stuff on the other side of this opportunity. Now, like you said, I go back to you. You kind of enlighten me a little bit. It could be. Well, you a 6th grader, whoop-de-whoop. Man, we don't want you beating these 8th graders, but sheesh, man, don't ever take no opportunity from me or my family.
Yeah, only thing I can think of is if she dropped if the javelin came under the plane of the shoulder, maybe.
They said it's the bend of the elbow. They said it was the bend of the elbow on the release. But like you said, it should be a rule.
No, dude.
I asked them if they seen the rule book, and they was like, "Nah, man." They was like, "We just ain't gonna worry about it. It's just learning."
That's bullshit. Because I'm just thinking right now, as a guy who threw the javelin for a little bit, I can throw it now that I think about it, straight arm, if I totally dive down,
right,
and my arm stays straight.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, that ain't a rule violation. But you got to dive that front shoulder down.
And it's harder to do. That's tougher to do than just try to, like you said, just throw it like a dart.
Well, and you can't throw it like a football or like a baseball. You really can't.
But that's what apparently that was the adjustments they gave the child was to you need to throw it like a baseball. That was the adjustment they said. That was the vocabulary used. You need to throw it like a baseball.
See, that pisses me off.
A lot of stuff pisses you off.
But yeah, but that when you deal with track and people don't know because it's like I'll never forget recently. So there used to be a rule where your coach couldn't show video on the track. That rule changed a few years ago, and they had an old guy officiating the guy was officiating when I was running track,
right?
And he was old then. You know what I'm saying? So so now my kids are running track. Now he's really old, right?
Right.
And I guess he didn't know the rule, and now he's yelling at people. I'm like, dude, I know the guy, Mr. Such and Such. The rule changed, and the rule changed last year that you can now change. He's like, no, I'm like, all right. I pulled out. You know, you can do shit online. I pulled out the rule book on my phone and showed it to him. He's like, oh, they shouldn't even change that rule. He didn't even want to apologize. He said the rule should have been changed. I'm like, Mr. Such and Such. It changed though. So you can't be fussing at people and want to disqualify people because they doing what is in the rule book. So,
wow.
Were those officials old?
I don't know.
Were they over 60? I'm just saying.
Hey, man, you gonna offend people on this show, man. Damn. Hey, man, you over here just offending.
Yeah, I don't like that because you know what they should have done, Anthony? Really, what they should have done is they should have measured her throws and then went to the rule book later to either disqualify her.
Disqualify her later. Yeah.
They should at least.
Or they could have just corrected her after the first throw.
Well, no, Anthony, because if we arguing about if that's legal or not, still measure my throw. And then after competition,
that's a damn good point.
Let's go.
Like you can't say my stuff don't count, and I have never been scratched in this event. And then I say, what's going on? And then I ask, like, what's the deal? And they just like, and you just do not, dude. You do not register at all. So I just came for no reason. You know what? That's a hell of a point. That is a hell of a point.
That's BS, man. I'm tempted to contact y'all middle school association and yell at some fucking people because that makes for a sixth grader, right? For a sixth grader.
Yeah.
Would she have won that competition? Was her throws further than everybody else's?
We don't know. I didn't ask that.
I'm just going by visual.
The conversation wasn't going the right way. The conversation wasn't going the right way for me to ask that. That's what I was concerned about. Like, if you saw visually, like, or they was going to place, but no, they ain't want to have that conversation.
That's
at all.
All right, man. Let's go something else because now I'm really getting hot. Oh my God. It's supposed to be about the kids, but it's not. It's fucking these officials' egos sometimes.
All right, so I gotta take a bathroom break.
Okay.
I do want to ask you about this, and I'll be back in 5 seconds, maybe.
Take your time. Take your time.
We got our offensive line coach getting $100,000 raise extension, making $900, damn near $1 million. Better be up there with the coordinators, and we ain't getting no progress from our damn offensive line.
All right, this is hard. This is a hard one for me because I'm a big fan of John Schlarman, as I'm sure y'all all know. And John Schlarman had a philosophy until his passing. And here's the thing about it. It doesn't make it the right way, but it was the right way for us. and it worked. So you had guys who was able to, if a tackle got hurt, since we worked in kind of a platoon, the guy who was the backup already had reps, already had experience. He actually had reps in that game per se. So he was ready to go when called upon because he got game reps. Even though sometimes those game reps hurt us sometimes, but it did give us game reps. And then comes your boy Wolf, and he went to straight starting five. It was 5, and that was it. And honestly, his first year, that offensive line did not do poorly. They actually did pretty good that year. The problem is he left.
And how he left.
And he pulled Indianapolis coach to Baltimore exit without telling nobody kind of situation. So that rubbed people the wrong way. So then we bring in the guy from San Francisco. I'm not going to say his name because a lot of people don't like him either. And so Wolf went to Bama. The O-line did, compared to what they did the previous season, that O-line did pretty well.
Right.
Then Wolf comes back. Now, here's the thing about Wolf, and this is why I think John Schlarman he's in the shadows of Sklar still. Because of the way Sklar treated his players, the way he coached his players, the style of coaching that he implemented is totally different from Wolf. This is only from what I've heard. I've never seen a guy coach face like in my presence. So
we haven't even seen him coach. You're right. None of us have seen him coach. Go ahead.
So all I've heard is his method is it's anti-Sklar. I'm trying to be nice, Anthony. So there's some hatred in that. There's dislike in that. And it's totally understandable. Here's what I'm going to say about coaches, though. What we got here is to keep coaches, you have to pay coaches. And that's just how the world works. Right? If you want a coach to stay, most times you're going to have to overpay for him to stay because that means somewhere else wants him and they're going to pay him if you want to keep him.
What the hell are you talking about? Continue. I'll continue.
Okay.
I got to go ahead.
So,
you got a whole different angle than I got, but I'm listening. We listening.
If you want to retain him, you're going to have to pay him more than what you wanted to pay him because
any coach, or are you talking about the coach or offensive line coach?
I'm talking about any coach that.
Oh, any coach. Yeah, that is true. With any coach, yes. Yeah.
Any coach that someone else wants.
Yeah.
And think about stealing from you. And you really want to retain him? Now,
so you implying that was an intention? That was a retention bonus?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking in generalities. So I don't know what's going on, and all I know he got a bonus. That's all I know. Which to me, Anthony, means something happened. That's just in my head. Why does he have to get a contract extension unless he is threatening to bolt?
That's why we in the locker. Go ahead.
So for me, why extend his contract unless he's got another offer that is going to take him through a certain amount of years? If you extend it just to extend it at this time in the season makes no sense. All right. So you're gonna tell. So this is the other thing is I've said this many times on this show. The most important relationship is the coordinator and the O-line, offensive coordinator and O-line coach, and offensive coordinator and quarterback. Those are the most important relationships on the offensive side, period. Your wide receiver coach ain't got to get along with the OC. Your running back coach ain't got to get along with the OC. Your tight end coach. But if that OC and O-line coach are not in cahoots, we got a problem. We got a problem, Houston. So is there an issue where Bush and Wolf gets along? I don't know. But those are the only thing that makes sense to me. Now you tell me what's the real on doing, so then I can step back.
I ain't telling you no real on doing. And Stephen C., why you didn't put Brad White's salary in there? You trying to make it look like Vince the second highest paid person. Right. I will say, looking at what Stephen C. put up there, I will say that looking at what Boger only been there a year, but he's done a lot of coaching. Stu ain't done a whole lot of coaching. But I'm like, these dudes are 500, and they put players in the NFL every year. Every year they're putting a player in the NFL.
And 500 is low. 500 is low, dude. 500 is low.
And the offensive line coach that ain't offensive line in the second. Okay, we're gonna update him. He updated. Okay. Give Steven a little credit. Yeah. Update. So
500,000 is like a group of five, G5.
And you putting people in the league every year?
Yeah.
Hold on. This ain't even that. So Wolford is making, I ain't gonna say double, but whatever the case might be. This is what I'm gonna go to with that. Van. And this is what concerns me. And I'm only gonna say this on the locker. I ain't gonna say this nowhere else. So don't ask me about this nowhere else. I'm gonna say this, man. And I'm concerned, and this concerns me because for the past probably 5 or 6 years, you'd have convinced me to say some stupid shit on statewide radio. By going 10, we can win 10, we can win 12. No, honestly, this is all bullshit aside. Tell me you subscribe to this. And I would hate for this to be the point. I can't say this. So Stoops, Mike, I know Mike comment one time on her. So Mike, tell your brother if you are listening. Is there any way that possibly that the writing is on the wall and we better steal all the money and get up out of here? Because the only reason Wolford is here, now it ain't for production, it ain't for his product. It's because he's Mark's homeboy. He's Mark's college roommate, homeboy. Like I said, and I was talking about this with some civilians. That makes sense. Like any of my homeboys, if I get a job, come on. Now, put it like this: LeBron and Maverick and Mims and the guys. LeBron's whole team was his homeboys since he was a teenager. Mom doing drugs, dad in jail. Them was the same homeboys. He got them educated. LeBron runs a successful business. That'll be a billionaire. If he ain't already. I don't think he's a billionaire yet. But so I just think Mark Stoops is like, I don't know how this is gonna end, man. I'm gonna get you a nice little nest egg. You're on your own after this. But by the same token, that whole shit he pulled when he was in Alabama and just bounced. If that's your boy, you owe me that. So I can't put my finger on it, but it seems more to me like, man, this ship is sinking here. Take this money, man. Jump ship. I don't think he's trying to preserve. What the hell is he trying to preserve him for? Alabama's probably had their worst season offensively that they've had in the past decade. After losing him, Milroe started off fine. Then they started putting that, but Milroe had to go to running because everybody was coming after you. So we kind of had to go to the.
Oh, you're saying last season?
I'm saying the offensive line that Wolford left in Alabama seemed to struggle a ton.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say there's a lot, and you know this too, Anthony. So when do you blame Wolf? Because here's the thing, right? When Wolf got to Kentucky, right? That first year, that O-line was good, right? You have to. That O-line's first year was good. The problem was they had no depth.
What year was that? Was that Will's first year?
That was Will's first year.
Okay.
Right? That O-line was good. They've won 10 games. So it was a 10-game winning line, O-line. You want to put it like that, right?
Okay.
So now here's the deal where I go with this, and I don't like Wolf. I've said it here. I don't like Wolf.
I don't have a problem with him. I just like winning more than I like losing.
I don't like his method, but whatever. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So he came here, in my opinion, ruffle feathers, but we still won 10 games. Then he leaves. He exits stage left without a
middle of the night.
So that right there, with the way he did it, the way he coached, his style, rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
But now here's what you got to do though. He came here, the offensive line was successful. He left and went to Alabama, the offensive line was successful. He came here. Now, are we going to judge him off the offensive line that we had here in Alabama's offensive line? You can't do both. Because what I can say is the guy who coached before him left a shit-ass offensive line for him to coach anyway. And like the same way how you can say he left a shit-ass line for Alabama this year and they play like shit. He wasn't coaching them. So which one is it? Now, here's what I'm going to say. Is he didn't have a lot of talent to work with, but I will say this. Last season, the way he coaches doesn't allow for players to develop and become comfortable in their skill set, from what I've heard. Because he right? Now, here's the deal. For me, as a guy who coaches now, there is a player that now is not who graduated that I could rah with, and he's cool with it. But I developed that relationship over a couple of years to understand that I can say stuff to him that some other boys, other guys I coach, I can't do that to.
Right.
Other guys I got to hug and say, hey, man, look. You know what to do. You know the technique. You know what. Come on now. Right? So I don't like, well, coach you just one way. I'm going to force you to do it my way. And that's my issue with him. And I think that was the issue last year is I don't think he had the guys that he could rah totally on. And
I will say this.
Go ahead.
I will say this. I do know for a fact because, and like I said, I ain't Stu's my boy, but I get in his tail the same way. Pause. I'll give him the business the same way anybody else. I will say this. I do know when I talk football with Stu, man, I tell you, your step, like your first step got to be here, your hips, your hands. And I say that because when I met Josh Allen the first time at a football camp, I was there just as a coach, and they came, all them Benny and Josh and all them came over there. And I was like, so I said, you like my boys? Man, my game and kept growing so much because he's technical. Like, it's technique. Like, you come here, you already got to be a top-tier athlete. And it goes to what you said. Like, if our offensive line ain't, dude, we getting beat on simple twists and stunts. We just getting ran through. But I also think there's a lack of film study because somebody was asking me earlier today. I was like, when I played, the running back and the quarterback set the line. The quarterback, the center would look at the defense. He would call out Mike, and then we would look at each other. If I had a route on his front side, then we would turn everything back. That means protect everything behind me. If anything come in front of me, I'm either going to block it or the quarterback knows that I'm going to be hot. So you see all your pressure. Now, somebody leak through, that's a whole different situation.
Right.
Our offensive line now got leakage from everywhere. Like, who are y'all protecting? Like, I got these 5 guys. Okay, if you got these 5 guys and they stunt, it ain't working. I you know what? I really don't want to blame Wolford, and I really don't want to say that it was a sympathy paycheck. But I feel that you taking care of your people. And like I said, he got a whole Youngstown connection up there. Clint got up out of there. Clint wanted more money before he left. Clint got up out of there, and he's prospering. But Mark Stoops, the one who gave him the go ahead. But I don't think he's conceding. But I don't know what Wolford is doing because, like you said, he got to adjust at some point. And I don't. We had Tony Franklin here 3 years ago. I don't know how many years, seasons ago. But like I said, me and him really didn't see eye to eye. What did he tell you? He said the one thing we knew is you standing in blocking wasn't helping us. So we either gonna put you on help. We either gonna because everybody was blitzing because now that gives us less receivers on routes. So if they're if you're in a bad situation, just have your backer blitz, and I got to stay in the block. So his thing was, if I had to block, hey, I bucked. He's like, man, give about 3 or 4 blocks a game. If you got to stay in the block, man, just give it you got. But otherwise, other team was just blitzing, so I wouldn't go out on routes. But he adjusted his thinking, he adjusted the game plan, and I don't know if Wolford is really doing it.
Just like Eddie Grant. I got 2 things to say. One thing I got to say real quick, then I'm going to go back to one thing that I do agree with Coach Stoops on. Jordan Anthony. You remember Jordan Anthony?
Played Texas A&M, in Arkansas?
Jordan Anthony is fucking sliding. He needs
not playing football though, is he?
Huh?
He's not playing football no more.
He played football this fall. He needs to quit football. He needs to quit. Track is
track guy. This is a track show today, y'all.
And this motherfucker's running low 20s. And
that's what you watch?
The last 30 meters. Yeah, he running 20.3s and coasting the last 30 meters. No. Dude, he needs to run track. He needs to run. All right, here's the other thing. As a guy who owns a company, and this will rub people the wrong way because I understand from a football standpoint, I understand when things are going bad, you want certain things to happen. When you are a coach, the coach's room has to work together too. So if I am hiring, for example, if I'm hiring coaches, right? Because this happened to people whom I know who are in the coaching, college coaching field.
Right.
They get jobs by people whom they know.
Yeah.
So for me, not saying it's right, but I gotta hire guys I trust and guys I know have my back. So when shit goes bad, I don't need someone saying some bullshit behind my back. So I don't think that he should have got raised. Really, I really don't. But for him to hire Wolf, I understand. And the other thing that goes into this, Anthony, that I hate, but I understand too, is I'm more like Stu. I'm more technical, right? So you got to have how many coaches on there? Let's say you have 10 coaches, right? You need a couple of those coaches to be recruiters, though. you need if you got 10 coaches, all 10 of them can't be technical. You need a couple dog recruiters. And I think your dog recruiters, you tell me, I don't know, your recruiters are supposed to be, your best recruiters are, we know who they say the best recruiters are.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's true, but Vince and Wolf are your best recruiters on paper. So
Wolf has a athlete rich area.
Well,
that's why we lost him. That's why we lost him in Alabama last time.
I'm just saying on paper. If you look at the star players they recruit on our staff, they definitely are your 2 star recruiters. Now, this is where I'm going to disagree with Stoops. If you have recruiters, usually those recruiters, I'm just speculating, don't coach well. They're not your best coaches, right? Just on paper. So that's when you need a damn GA that is a dog coach. So therefore, like when we had CJ Conrad, when we had Drake Jackson, we need to find some way to keep them as assistant coaches. So then you allow your recruiting coaches to be the figurehead and all that stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, the people who are coaching the position are technical coaches. So for me, I think I'm just saying. Go ahead, Anthony, because it's 10 o'clock.
Look up Drake Jackson's comments about working under Wolford the first time around.
Is it bad?
I don't know. You look it up.
Where am I going to find it?
I'm not trying to look it up now. I know because I'm not beating up the coaching staff. I like the coaching staff. I just want to do better. And I'm gonna call you out. That's why we got the locker room. What used to happen in our locker room? You call somebody out if you ain't pulling your weight, we call you out. That's where we at with it. I will say
for sure.
I'm all about Mark Stoops taking care of Mike, Eric. What's Buff's name? First name? Buffano. But I mean, it's fine. You know how many. And I'll tell you this, man. I told you I don't like coaching just because I don't want to deal with these kids, and I don't want to put that much time and effort into. And I get too frustrated with losing, so I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. My heart rate would be up. But the one thing I have been told by several different people: if I get a coaching job, you coming. Like you coming? I'm like, man, I'm not about to be in a breaking down film.
You definitely my running back coach. Yes.
But hold on. But here's the thing. And it's exactly what you said from the beginning. They was like, one is somebody they can trust. They know if I'm going to be honest with you. And if shit's going on behind the scenes, it's going to be somebody honest with you. But I mean, for $500,000 or $600,000, man, I can't change my plans. I mean, I ain't got too much going on. But I've been told that by several people. And I'm saying that to say it goes to your point where that's why I understand. Because I'm like, I ain't even interested in coaching. But they like, I know you know ball. You know, I need you on my team. Yeah, you can be player personnel. And that's what I think Stoops is doing. He got people around him. But now, like you saying, and we kind of alluding to the whole show, that if it's going to lead you to another 4-8 season or worse, we all going to be searching for a job. So at some point, somebody got to say, look, hey, man, there ain't too many jobs open out there, so you know we need to do X, Y, and Z.
Well, but that's the thing, though, Anthony. That's the thing about a coaching circle is it's all about who you know. Even though, and Buck's first name is Frank. It's all about who you know. So even though, I mean, we've already saw that that Wolf can go somewhere else. That was proven, right? And
let me ask you this. Hold on. Before you go forward, I don't know what you and Wolf what love for you and Wolf got. He ain't really showed me that. I don't really have a problem with him because I think he's doing his best job. But you keep on you saying he went somewhere else. So we didn't bring him back. Where was he gonna go? Did he have somewhere else to go?
Anthony, it doesn't matter. He's always at a job. Anthony, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Cut this damn.
My last year at Kentucky. Do you remember who the linebacker coach was?
That wasn't Milo, was it?
I think so.
Okay, Milo Voletich. Yeah, I remember who it was. Yeah, now what? I remember who it was. What?
So, Anthony, so now you telling me how the hell Milo kept finding jobs?
I didn't know Milo kept finding jobs.
Well, shit, he found us.
Because we
no. Our defense had a staff. So that is the reason why. Everybody on that defensive staff goes somewhere else.
He didn't take over for Archer. Who did he take over? He didn't take over Archer, did he?
Yes, he took over Archer's spot.
But Bill Curry was a giving. But Bill Curry was a very good guy. So he probably owed him one.
Anthony, that was Rick Smith had to sign off on that too. So no. What I'm saying, Anthony, is Eric, when you get in that fraternity, your boys take care of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So Wolf might not be now. Think about Wolf from South Carolina, us to Alabama. Not saying he gets Tennessee job, but he's gonna find work. He's gonna find work. He's respected in the coaches fraternity. We might not like him as a program, but other coaches respect him.
I give you that. I give you that.
So that's all I'm saying.
I give you that. I give you that. We try to run a balanced show.
There are some coaches, there are some defensive back coaches right now that I've seen play on Saturdays. I'm like, they need to be fired yesterday. And I'm not talking about, oh, they gave up touchdowns. I'm talking about other stuff that I know coaches coach. Because you can't coach, you get mossed on. Like, there's something that's going to happen in the game, right? I'm talking about alignment assignment. If your players can't align an assignment, that's on the coaches right there.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about high school or college?
Oh, college. I'm talking about, I watch games on Saturdays. Well, I'm like, who y'all DB coaching?
Let me ask you this. Have you ever watched a football game on Saturday and one of your offensive linemen go to the concession stand out there with the with the civilians, with the fans? Have you ever done that? Or is that a first? Or is that a first for you? Huh?
No, I've seen some shit.
Is that a first for you?
Concession stand? Yes.
From the sidelines to the concession stand?
But Anthony, I've seen some people on senior. You know, how can I say this? How you a part of the team, but you're not a part of the team?
Yeah, but if you want to, don't go from dude.
Have you not? I've been to games where the guys are in the student section with a jersey on.
But that is support. Now that is, I jump up in the stand. I would do that.
Hold on. So you're gonna tell me if I'm on the sideline, then I'm in the student section, that I didn't go to the concession stand too?
Nah, in the student section, you still in the stadium, and people gonna say that's school spirit. You going to the concession stands?
And I would say this.
Why do people go to the concession stand? Because they need to break from the game. If you're not playing, how do you need to break from the game?
I'm gonna say this, and this is why losing just sucks. If we were 9-3,
if anybody knows, you would know. Go ahead.
If we were 9-3, if we was 9-3, and he was at a concession stand, nobody would say shit.
Now, if you had seen the pictures of him getting autographs and stuff, it might have been
right. No one said shit. But when you're 4-8, that as Coach Curry and then when I was the Bears would say, you need to comport yourself a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You can't do the same shit we did when we went to the ball game. When we losing them in the games, you got to read the temperature in the room.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Sheesh.
Story, and then we go. So I think I told the story. I was the Bears. We was at the end of the season. We were losing. And I don't know if people know, when you go out on the road, you're supposed to have curfew. A lot of people don't adhere to the curfew. They go out to the club, whatever, wherever they at, right? This time, before the team meeting, Coach Wannstedt said, nobody do anything stupid or you cut. Right, we had our best safety. Leave the hotel room. Now, we boys, in the morning, you have mandatory sign-in for breakfast. We're like, oh, Coach, he in the bathroom. Oh, Coach, he just went up to his room. He went outside. Oh, Coach, all right. So then the said player finally comes through, right? We're like, hey, dude, look. Now, we told him you was blah, 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 blah. So we all cool, right? They were like, fuck that shit. We ain't going for that. We ain't going for that this time. They went and checked security cameras. They saw his ass walk out and walk in. They couldn't dance from the spot.
That was the play, though. That was the play. He in the bathroom, Coach. They're doing number 2. That was the play.
He went back to his room. He left his playbook. So that's the difference between being on a winning team and been on a team that's not winning at the time. Those little things that sometimes you can get away with, you can't get away with when you lose. Man, they cut dude. He was the best safety we had on our team, and he wasn't even starting.
Damn.
Anthony, it wasn't even close.
Right.
When he started, playmaker.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of shit that happens, man. Fuck.
Since we done had the high school show, man, you excited about Oweh coming back? You think it's changed the trajectory?
Is he playing right corner or left corner? Shit. Fucking basketball and down in June.
I think I think he can be dominant. I think he can do a lot of good things. He reminds me of what's the one who played power forward with Anthony Davis? Get Gilchrist Alexander. Not get Gilchrist. Gilchrist. No, not Gilchrist.
Yeah,
Gilchrist. Yeah, Gilchrist. Yeah, he remind me of him. Like he got some athleticism.
He has a better shot than Gilchrist.
Skill sets though, huh? Oh, absolutely.
He got a better shot than Gilchrist.
Well, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You talking about him leading the team?
I would say this, Anthony.
The skill sets are limited. But no, but I think it gives us a solid group, especially the way Mark Pope runs business. You got everything you need. You got all the ingredients you need.
We got circa whatever year that was when we had the Harrison twins and we went undefeated to the Wisconsin game. We have that amount of talent, top to bottom. We legitimately have 10 players.
Yeah. To do whatever you need to do. Now you can cook whatever you want to cook. Yeah.
Which is something we didn't have this year when your 7-8 person was Travis and Trent.
But we had injuries, man. We had a whole lot of stuff to go bad this year too, though.
But now, if you have injury this year, you have enough.
Oh yeah. But that don't happen in most schools. What schools got 10 players? And the reason is most schools don't have a coach that can plug and play 10 players.
That's true too.
And the forward 10 players that can play in your system. Because Cal gonna get you 2 or 3 players he's gonna pay the hell out of, and the rest of the other three got to be standby. But he got 10 players to fit his system. That's gonna be, and that's why I'm a little lightweight. That's where I gain my little optimism about football. We got players who's gonna listen and carrying out assignments now.
Here's the other thing: is not only do you have, you say 10 plus players, a lot of those players have multiple years left.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna roll back a large percentage of that team next season.
Yeah, man. I just want to see my boy Jasper Johnson, little young Dennis Johnson. So I just want to see little young Jasper with that old sweet laugh come up. If he forget the little people, we come on here. I'm gonna tear his ass up, man.
Tell Dennis he can get at least a couple court sides. Huh?
Oh, we definitely get court side.
That's where I need a couple court sides.
Hey, we'll just tell you about our program. If we can get courtside basketball tickets to UK basketball, but not
we can't get football.
And you're gonna pay the office in the show. Line coach another $100,000 to
drop
give
the mic on that one, bro. Anthony, drop the mic on that one. Cut. Go straight to outro. Cut.
Like, subscribe, share, follow. Come back next week. We have a little bit more of this, maybe a little bit more. Go over there and comment. Wow. Yeah, like, subscribe, share, follow. That's all we want you to do. We'll be back.